What's up, y'all? I realized I didn't even introduce myself the last video that I did. Welcome back to my one woman show. Latrice Monet here. I previously was saying like El Monet, but I was trying to do a whole rebrand situation and realized like I still introduce myself as Latrice, so it makes the most sense to say Latrice when I'm introducing myself. So anyway, welcome back. I had like a completely different topic in mind and I guess I can still kind of talk about it because it builds on what I was talking about in my last video. But I think to start today out with, or at least start this video with, I wanted to talk about just how important it is to maintain a high vibration, how important it is to continuously be optimistic. And one of my favorite songs is Optimistic by Sounds of Blackness. I'm pretty sure Sounds of Blackness. And it's a constant reminder, and I'm not saying like the toxic positivity where you don't feel, or like your anger or whatever the case may be, like it's not acknowledged, because that's important. Like the emotions that we have are important messages that we need to decipher in order to discern what we need to do next in our lives, like the moves we need to make. But overall, like it's really important to maintain our vibration and understand that we are souls living a human experience. So naturally, things are going to come up, but it's how we decide to go about those things. Like either something can break us down, or we can use it to build us up. And sometimes too, I think things happen in our lives to teach us lessons. And it's like, okay, whether or not you decide to, or I decide to learn the lesson, it's just gonna keep coming back around. It's gonna keep coming back around. And I think we can be on the hamster wheel of life, or we can step out of it and truly fly. I think that might sound a little cliche, because like flying and stuff, but whatever, it's what I got for you. The other thing, I guess, so circling back to what I was thinking about talking about in relation to my previous video, was the emotions behind how we make people feel and how that relates to business, and having products and services that elevate people's life. And so there was a couple of things that I've read this past week. One was a Harvard Business Review article from 2003, and it talked about 4 emotional pools, and this was in relation to consumer behavior encounters with new luxury goods. So if y'all are interested in the article, I can always link it. Also, comment, like, subscribe, share, all those things, and that would be very helpful. But so the emotional pools were 1, taking care of me, overcoming effects of too much work and too little time, like usually like spa days and stuff like that would fall into this category. The second one is questing, which is venturing out into the world, gaining new experiences. Like think about REI, hiking gear. There's other examples like travel, that type of thing. The third one is connecting, finding, building, and maintaining and deepening relationships. So I guess the first thing that came to mind was support groups, but networking spaces. I'm in a co-working space right now. That's exactly an example of that. And individual style, using sophistication and currency of purchases to demonstrate success in life and express individuality. So I thought it was really interesting that these 4 emotional pools also correlated to another article. I guess you can consider an article on the business of fashion. They just released called Brand Magic that I thought was interesting. So those 4 emotional pools tie into this article, and this article uses the Jungian archetype framework, which is really big in marketing, and brands use it as in terms of like identifying what their messaging is and like how they want to convey that to consumers. And so for those archetypes, it was stability, which is like the caregiver, ruler, or creator. Independence, which is innocent, happy and good. Sage, so like wise and can share things. An explorer, of course. And so stability correlates to taking care of me, and the independence correlates to the questing. And so then the third one from the Jungian archetype is belonging, which is the lover, inspiring passion, humor, and participant, which we all use to connect, which is going back to the other one. And then the last one is mastery, being a rebel, magician, or a hero, which kind of goes into individual style, because I think people like to show up as their individual selves, like they want to stand out. Well, some people, not everybody, but I bring these two different frameworks for thinking about communicating with customers and the image and the brand and all that stuff, to kind of just reiterate what I was talking about in terms of like how we make people feel. And I think emotions are just such a huge part of our lives and our world. And it's so interesting how we learn all this stuff in school, and I've said it to like friends in conversation and stuff. It's so interesting that we don't really learn about that in school. Like, unless you go to school for psychology or whatever, when you're in high school, you're not learning to really handle your emotions. Like, you're learning about the Pythagorean theorem, which I can't say that I've had to use. But so I think just emotions are just such a strong part of our world today, whether that's the business, personal, professional. And I think it's just something that we have to be conscious of. And I think conscientiousness and awareness are the biggest things. And especially going back into business, like if we are aware of what our brand is putting out, if we're aware of what we want to accomplish, I think that it can be successful. So that's my little tidbit for today. I hope that you all have enjoyed it. I am about to go eat my food. I'm very hungry, and thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. I will be happy to respond and talk to y'all next time. All right, bye.